Hello everyone, this is TJ with Thread and Taught. Today we will be working on Block 2, Stars Align by Joanna Figueroa for the 2025 Designer Mystery. We are first going to start off with 4 patch units, and you need to make 8 of these. You're going to use your F and your D fabric. On your D fabric, you will notice that this particular fabric is tone on tone. So you have to be very careful in which way you're sewing it. Sometimes you can use a black light, or you can put it up under the light to see which way is the correct way to make sure that you're sewing it on the correct side of the fabric. In the next part of the design, you have to make half square triangle units. I did use triangle paper for this part of the design. You can do it the traditional way as well. If you are doing a triangle paper, you're going to use H200 if you're purchasing from Fat Quarter Shop. And that gives you a 2.5 by 2.5 unfinished half square triangle. Next, we're going to make the star corner unit. You're going to use your half square triangles and your 4 patch that you made first. You want to make sure that that F fabric is in the top left, as well as making sure that your half square triangle has the brown part in the correct direction. Okay, you want it facing towards the 4 patch unit. So you want to make sure that brown is in the top left and bottom right corner before you get ready to sew these units together. Okay, here I'm just showing you how to do the next one that goes on the bottom. You're making sure that that brown part is in the upper right hand corner of your half square triangle, and that on my 4 patch, that brown is in the top left corner. Okay, and this is what the star corner unit looks like, and make sure it squares up to 4.5 by 4.5. All right. The next part of this is going to be 2 sets of flying geese. You have a outer flying geese unit and then a flying geese unit. I have already completed the flying geese unit. And here I want to show you how I use the Eleanor Burns, the Fat Quarter Shops. I think it is the Eleanor Burns method. Yes. For Easy Flying Geese. This is an Easy Flying Geese cheat sheet, and I will link it below. I am going to show you how to do that for the outer flying geese to make 4 at a time. This is very time saving, okay? So the first thing that I have done is cut the J piece bigger. So these are 2.5 by 4.5 unfinished. So the J piece needs to be 7.5 inches, and your B piece, which is your center, needs to be cut at 6. This one's 6 inches. This is 7.5 inches. So J 7.5, B 6 inches. Then you're gonna lay them face down. Well, facing each other. J face up, B face down. And you're gonna draw a line down the middle. And then 1/4 inch from that line, you're gonna draw a line to the left and the right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to sew on the line to the left and the right of the center line that was drawn. Okay. And I had just pinned these together to keep them together before I sewed. All right, so I'm going to take these pins out. So now what you're going to do is cut on this center line that we created. You're going to cut on that center line, and then I'll tell you the next direction. So when you cut them, you're going to have 2 pieces like this, 2 big triangles. Okay. When you press them, you're going to press away from the center. So you're going to press towards the, I'm sorry, I was calling this J. This is I, to the I piece. So you're going to press it this way. So you're going to press towards the I. Okay. Okay. So now you should have 2 pieces that look like this. All right. I think what I'm going to do now is, no, I'm going to keep you here because I'll do that on the next one. All right. So you have these 2 pieces. So the way you're going to do this is you're going to have 1 piece facing this way and 1 piece facing this way. Okay. And you're going to put them on top of one another. And you want the points to somewhat meet at the top and on the sides. So you want something that looks like that. Okay. Your points are meeting and these are crisscrossed. All right. I'm just going to pin this because I don't want it to move. Pin over here. All right. Make sure it is opposite. This at the bottom. So 2 different colors. Okay. Next, what we're going to do is, remember how I had those 3 lines? I'm going to make those, put this piece here. I'm going to make those on this, in this direction. So if you're looking, it's going to be from top to bottom. And what happened to my pen? Oh, okay. So that's why I put some pins off to the side. So I'm first going to draw a line down the center. I'm trying to do this so you can see. See how I just drew a line down the center? And then I'm going to do 1/4 of an inch from that line on the left and the right. Turn it. Okay. So you should have something that looks like that. What we're going to do now is do the same exact thing that we did at the beginning before we cut. I'm going to sew on this right line and this left line. Need not looking. Okay, what we're going to do now is cut on the center line. Okay. And this is what you have left. Okay. I'm going to move this because okay. So now what we're going to do is, you have these little seams in here. Okay. It says in between where the fabric meets. So sometimes I cut in 2 places. I'll cut here on one side and here on the other side. This is just going to help with bulk when you get ready to press it. And you're doing a gentle cut. You're not cutting through at all. Okay. You can either do it here or in here. I just do it to the side so this can like fold. Can you see that? That folds. All right. Because you have one on each side to help the fabric fold out like that. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we are going to press to the corner square. So that means you're going to press to the white parts on both sides. So one is going to go this way, one is going to go that way. Okay. And this is what you end up with. 2 of those. So now this is where the magic happens. We're about to make 4 flying geese. So I'm just going to swivel you to my cutting mat that is right here so that you can see how I do this. To do this, you're going to need the, want to make sure I tell you the right size. This is the large Eleanor Burns. Sorry, I have a light like right above. This is the large one, and it has 2 and a 4, 2 by 4 inches flying geese and 4 by 8. Yeah, this is the large. There's also a small flying geese, which you can do 2 other sizes, and then if you get the calling all flying geese ruler, that one makes more. I also have the flying geese one by Deb. Where is it? The wing clipper. You can also use this one as well, the wing clipper, if you have this particular one. This is by Studio 180. I could have sworn it was like a Deb something, but this is the other one. And you have your 2 and a half there. So this one you will cut on the 2 and a half and then go down to the 4 and a half. I'm sorry, you would do the 4 and a half and then end at the 2 and a half on this one. Okay? So you can use either one. So this one is using the Eleanor Burns. So we're using this part up here. The 2 by 4. So you're going to put the triangle up. You'll see the top of that piece of fabric there. You're going to put your triangle right there. Okay. Now this one doesn't go all the way off, but that's okay. You can kind of make a line because you're going to end up cutting it off. So, and then you're going to, this also doesn't have grippers, but you can add some. You're going to cut across like so. And then you're going to cut on this right side as well. Okay. Then you're going to rotate the block. So you're going to, did you see what I did? This line here, you're going to line up to this side of the fabric. And you're going to trim this side and this side. Okay. And that is your 2 and a half by 4 and a half inch block. All right, I'll show you that again. Okay. Line up the triangle. Oops, I moved down too far. I'm sorry about that. Line up the triangle. Cut here and here. Oops, sorry about that. I'm trying to do this with you all right in front of me. Turn the block. Line this black line up with what you have there. Cut. Oops. Cut. That's your other block. All right. Now, so we have both of our flying geese units. So we're going to put those together. And you're going to have this one face down like so. And this one attached to the bottom. And you're going to make 4. Okay. And now press those in the fill. You're going to press down to the H flying geese unit. All right. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to do some small flying geese. These I just did the traditional way. I've already done 3. I'll just show you how to do 4. I do mark on the back of my pieces. And then I just put a little line to let me know which way I have to cut that off. So the first thing, make sure it is on the right side. I'm going to place my triangle and I'm going to sew on my line. Oops. don't know if that's sewing. No. Ah, I'm not sewing. Let's try that again. Something don't sound right. Eesh. When that happens, I just rethread. Press, clip. Look what happened. I am just having a rough time. For the love of ham and cheese. You know what? It's going to work out. Going to be like that. You're going to clip this off, fold that back, and then do the same side to this. Same to the other side. Okay. That's what that looks like. All right, so let's go ahead and assemble the center star. So you're going to take these and you're going to add D to the sides. So you're going to do 2 of these with D. I'm going to press those. All right, to E. This is your E piece. To E, you're going to put 1 on this side and 1 on this side. All right, so these we're going to press to the center. These we're going to press outward. Okay. And then we're going to put 1 at the top and 1 at the bottom. This way. 1 at the bottom, 1 at the top. Okay. So now I'm going to... oops, I forgot to iron these down to the ground. Okay. So you're going to need these. Your double flying geese units. So these were those corner units. Make sure I get it right. You make sure you have a flower at the flower, the brown flower at the top left, brown flower on the bottom right. Okay, so you're going to do 1 of those and a double flying geese unit. Oh yeah, it looks good. And then I'm going to put another one on this side with the white this way, flower at the top right, flower at the bottom. They should nest. Yeah. And we're gonna okay, like so. So you're gonna make one for the top, one for the bottom, reversing your double flying geese. They're gonna go down this way instead of up. Sorry, I gotta clip that off. That's gonna bother me. All right, so we're gonna do another set of these. Okay, here are 3 pieces. Okay, make sure you have this facing. I am just gonna double check my own self. Yeah. All right, I am going to go ahead and sew these. Finally finished. And here is this beautiful block. Thank you for joining me, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Until the next video. Bye.